ケル先生は NIC の、スタッフの先生なんですけども、イギリス在住です。イギリスに、いながら、ファンデーションの教える時期は日本に来て教えるっていう形でしていたんですけども、あいにくね、このコロナの状況なので、マイケル先生はオンラインで、イギリスから参加ということで、授業もイギリスからしてくれている現状です。マイケル先生ですごい先生でね、NIC のファンデーションのプログラムを作ってくれた先生であり、その前には大学の校長先生で、大学のファンデーションプログラムのね、とか、いろんなプログラムをやっている校長先生であったり、大学で教授されてたりとか、とっても経験豊富な先生になってます。本も書いてます。そんな先生なんでね、いろんな、ことを聞いていただいて、皆さんの人生に生かしていただければなと思います。よろしいでしょうか。Then, Michael, could you start your presentation?
Hajime mashite, watashi wa Michael desu, dozo yoroshiku onegaishimasu. Right, good afternoon, everybody. I hope you're well, and these are the contents for today's presentation. So let me just share my screen with you. Okay, so here we go. Right, so the contents for today are a brief history of the foundation, introduction and history of the foundation team. We're going to talk a lot today about why we should study in the UK. And then I'll be talking about how do we get accepted by a British university. And then I'll be talking about the NIC Foundation course, and I'll explain some details about that. Okay, so who are the foundation team? Well, it's made up of 3 people, and we're a small team, but a specialist one. So first of all, we have Yumiko-san, and she's in charge of NIC destinations. She helps the students decide which courses they should enter after NIC studies. She has amassed a lot of knowledge about the UK system. She is NIC's expert in Japan on the British education system. She's a very experienced education administrator, and she's also a counsellor. She's worked with a number of British universities and other providers, and she knows how the UK system works. She can give advice on different programs, and she supports students through the visa process. So Yumiko-san is a very important person in the foundation team. The second person is Tim-san, and he is a business and economics specialist. He's extremely well qualified. He has lots of high-level management skills. For example, he was a UK director of Kia Cars. He also has a degree in business and economics. He also has a master's degree in economics. He also has a teaching degree. He also has English language qualifications, and he decided to enter teaching after having a successful career in business. And finally, me. Okay, who am I? Okay, well, I graduated with a degree in media communication and politics. I also gained 2 master's degrees, one in research, which is sociology. I also have another master's degree in educational leadership, and I also possess a teaching degree. I think the point I'm trying to make here is that everybody in this team is really well qualified, and they have lots of experience. And you need this help if you're going to study in another country. In addition, I'm an author of 2 books. I've also been an examiner. I've also been a centre head and a vice principal. I've worked in many different schools and universities, and I've worked all around the world, including China, the USA, and the Middle East. So that's the team. And I'm sure we'll meet again at some point. Okay, so let's think about why we should be thinking about studying in the UK. Now, the UK is renowned for having brilliant universities. Its education system is hundreds of years old, and we have some of the best and most respected universities in the globe. Now, everyone has heard of Cambridge and Oxford, but not many people go to Cambridge or Oxford. The one thing you can be guaranteed is that whichever university you go to in the UK is going to be one of the best in the world. Most British universities are in the world top 5%. Therefore, wherever you go is always going to be a fantastic university. This is because the UK has a really strong tradition in scholarly activity, academic research, and technological innovation. And in return, you receive some of the best teaching in the world. Okay. Let's think about the teaching and learning in a UK university. I think the one thing that you have to remember about any UK university is that it must have high standards to be called a university. In the US, you have many colleges that can offer degrees, okay? But in the UK, there's only a few that can offer a degree. So what you guarantee is when you go to the UK is that your degree is going to be of the highest quality from wherever you study. Now, the reason why the standards are so high in the UK is because the government constantly monitors the university standards, and it constantly monitors how well qualified the staff are. So in this first part, I've said there, university staff are PhD and higher. Yeah, everybody who's teaching you is a subject expert. They've also conducted lots of research, and they've probably written lots of papers. The other great thing about studying in the UK is that you can specialize from the first year. Unlike in America, where you do the first 2 years are very general, you specialize immediately. And there's a good reason why you can specialize. It's because you become an expert. So when you finish your 3 years in a UK university, you are ready to go and find a work or ready to go on to further study. For example, a master's or a PhD. The other thing we should mention is that it has lots of different teaching styles as well. Now, one of the things I want to talk about as well is the type of student you become when you study in the UK. You read for a degree in the UK. You don't just study, you have to read. This means you have to become an independent learner. In other words, you must be able to do research. You must be able to write papers. You must be able to present things that are novel, things that are your own work and your own ideas. So the pressure at a UK university is very high, but that's good pressure because that makes you ready for work when you graduate. Another thing that you have to do is that you have to work with other people. And that means you develop your communication skills and you learn to work with people from other parts of the world. Now, this is really important because these are the types of skills that employers are looking for when you look for a job in 3, 4, 5 years' time. Now, this page says, why study in the UK, the heritage of the UK. And what you must remember is that any employer in Japan will recognize a British university degree. In other words, if they see your name appear with a qualification, a degree from the UK, they will know you are a really good student. They will know you are highly intelligent. They will also know that you have really fantastic English skills. And having good English skills in today's world is so vital. If you think about it, most business and economics now is conducted in English. Therefore, if you go to a British university, you have to have, and you will have, fantastic English skills. The other benefit is, if you come to the UK, you'll also have a fantastic accent, because most Japanese people have an American accent. Yeah, so if you go to the UK, you will sound different. And I think that that's a good difference as well. Now, as I said, many employers will recognize a degree from the UK. They will recognize that you're studying in the birthplace of English, the UK. But they will also know that the UK has a fantastic history. If you go to the UK, you're going to somewhere very special. You are going to one of the oldest democracies and legal and financial centers in the world. And you also have to remember that where I'm calling from now is the center of the Industrial Revolution. And this meeting today that we're having, this Zoom call, would not have happened if it hadn't been for the Industrial Revolution 200, 300 years ago in the UK. Now, the UK has been at the forefront of many disciplines. Think about most recently the research into COVID. The vaccine was found, obviously with other organizations, but at Oxford in the UK. Think about science and technology, economics and business, the social and political sciences, theatre, arts, and so on. And then you start to understand and you start to realize that the UK is absolutely at the epicenter of global affairs. And then you can think about the impact in cultural terms. Has anybody here heard of Harry Potter? Or the Beatles? Or the Premier League? The impact that the UK is having on the rest of the world is huge. The other thing I want to say is that the UK has some fantastic scenery, some beautiful places to go to, and it's also a really safe place to live. Crimes against students is incredibly low. And furthermore, the UK is like Japan. It isn't a gun culture, okay? It's a safe place to be. Now, I've told you how fantastic the UK is, okay? I've told you how brilliant universities are. These are all good reasons to go to the UK. But applying for a UK degree is very easy as well. There's a system called UCAS. And what you can do is that you can look at every single course offered by every single university. And the other good thing is that the NIC staff are experts on how it works. So the actual process of applying for universities is also very straightforward as well. So why study in the UK again? Well, student accommodation is excellent, okay? You can see there's a picture at the top and a picture of the outside. It is generous, it's plenty of room, very warm in the winter and cool in the summer, well equipped, fully furnished. And I think a pretty good price as well. These are last year's fees, but they haven't really gone up. About £130 per week, which is around 19,000 yen. However, that's what you do in the first year. You go into accommodation with the university. However, in the second year and the third year, what students tend to do is share with other people. And by sharing with other people, I think you can almost halve the cost. So housing in the UK is very affordable. Also, heating and energy costs are reasonably low as well. And that's because houses in the UK are really well insulated. I've stayed in Japan several times, and often in the winter it's difficult to stay warm. So, what about a student's life? What was it like to be a student? Well, campuses are like mini villages. And they tend to have their own shops, places to eat, to go and keep fit, to go and get something to eat and hang out. Universities always have entertainment nights, usually on Fridays and Saturdays. And nearby, there's also lots of places for students as well. If any of you study business or economics, you'll understand the multiplier effect, that where you have a university, you will also have other businesses that will serve the student community. The great thing about being a student in the UK as well is that you get discounts on everything. So for example, on travel, you get 30% discount. It's excellent. If you travel off peak as well, it's very cheap to travel around the UK. Now, you'll notice on the second point, okay, on the third point, I should say, is that there's a fantastic range of student societies. Now, student societies are a really important part of university life in the UK. Why? Well, it has something for everyone. Now, another name for a society is like a club, really. And you have a student union for everything. So I can see there's a young man there wearing a Manchester City shirt, I think. Is it Manchester? He's wearing a football shirt anyway. He's disappeared now. You have societies for like soccer, rugby, cricket, basketball, baseball, all of those kinds of things. But you also have fan societies as well. So there are societies for Harry Potter. There's also a society for, I don't know, what's the sport that they play? Cudwitch or something like that. I don't know much about Harry Potter. But anyway, there's lots and lots of societies. Now, many of the students actually get involved with their university's Japanese society. And this is where they offer cookery classes and lessons into Japanese life. So in terms of away from your studies, life is very good as a student. Now, what I want you to remember, okay, is about the UK loves international students, and in particular, it loves Japanese students. UK people are very fond of Japanese students because they have a reputation for being polite, for being hardworking, and for being serious. Also, people in the UK, not many have been to Japan, and they're very curious about Japanese culture, its unique foods, media, and fashion. So if you do go to the UK, be prepared. British people are really interested in you. They will be very polite. They will ask you lots of questions because your culture is so much different from the UK's. But then again, I think it's very similar as well. Okay, one of the really important things, okay, today, and this has been important for the last few years. We know there's a lots of talk on social media and Facebook and Twitter about mental health and emotional well-being. But universities are really good at supporting students. So it's not only just academic support that you get, but you also get fantastic emotional support from dedicated professionals. The UK universities these days do prioritise mental and emotional health. They employ lots of trained specialists, and they will be looking after you whilst you're there. Now, in Britain, we have a really sympathetic view on well-being, especially since COVID took a hold, because not only are we really concerned about how you are physically, but we're also concerned about what's going on in your brain as well, and how you're feeling about things. So the one brilliant thing that universities are good at is supporting you, especially that transition from when you move from Japan to the UK. The other great thing is that universities have brilliant sports and well-being facilities. So there's lots of gyms, swimming pools, sports facilities, but also international students receive a lot of extra support for their English. So the support is there. When you go to a British university, you're supported immensely. Okay, I forgot to mention actually, this university that pictured here is the University of East Anglia. We have an academic agreement with them, and this is located on the east of the UK. And it's a fantastic university as well, really good. Very strong for international development, really good for English, really good for business and economics. Now this university here, this is my old university. This is the University of Birmingham, and that's the George Ellis building. It's a really wonderful university. It's a Russell Group university, which means it's not only is it really good at teaching, but it's also got a very high research rating as well. Now, health and safety matters. Look, there wouldn't be a presentation today if we didn't mention COVID-19, okay, and all the other variants. Just one of those things. So everything, well, not everything, things have changed, okay? And universities are fantastic in adapting to change. So for example, universities are very safe places to go to. The classes are a mixture of online and face-to-face, but they've got extra precautions to make sure that you're safe. And if you do have to isolate, they look after you by making sure that you've got supplies of food, entertainment, and all of those kinds of things. Also, online services are excellent as well at British University. So if you do have to isolate at any time, you'll have plenty of entertainment. Now, the really important thing that you must do is, in these days, is keep yourself healthy, okay? And keep yourself, I'll just move, because I'm aware that I'll put some different people on the screen. Okay, so sorry, I'm not picking on you guys. I'm just thought, I'll look at some different faces. Okay, so I've got somebody who's got lots of books behind him, which looks lovely. Okay, so as I was saying, we're talking about health and safety, and we're talking about, yeah, that thing, COVID. Now, I don't want to talk about it too much, but it has changed certain things. What I want to reassure you is that the NHS is still a world-class healthcare system. And when you apply for a visa, you have to pay a £470 surcharge per year, which allows you full access to treatment. Now, this means anything. Now, if you stayed in a hospital for one night, that would cost you more than £470, okay? So that £470 is really good insurance. Now, I remember I visited a student about 3 years ago. They thought they were having a heart attack, and they had to go to hospital, and they stayed there for 3 days, and there was no charge or anything. You get looked after as if you were a British citizen. So even if you're really ill and you had to have millions of pounds treatment, you would get that treatment. So it's a really great place to come and feel safe. the NHS will look after you as students, and it will look after everything from going to see your GP to having operations. Now, I keep saying about the UK is a great place for students. It is very safe. Look, I've been to Japan several times, and I know that Japan is a very safe country, and most other countries around the world are not as safe as Japan. But the UK is very safe for students because most of the time students are on campus or around the universities, and generally, you know, the UK is a safe place to be. Right, let's go to the. Right, so these pictures here are of different universities. So we have university partners in Wales as well. So this one is Swansea at the top, and the one at the bottom is Aberystwyth, which does look like a scene out of Harry Potter. So the good thing about the NIC Foundation course, which I'll talk to you about in more detail in a few moments, is that you can go to these types of universities. Now, what's the weather like? Well, look, there's not really much to say about UK weather, okay? It's not as hot as Japan in the summer, but it is often colder than Japan is in the winter. It has 4 seasons, okay? In winter, it does get very cold, but it depends where you live. Spring tends to be quite warm. Summer is warm, sometimes hot. Autumn is warm, sometimes cold, and then we get back to winter again. What I would say is, though, the UK is a really good climate for a lot of outdoor activities for about 9 or 10 months of the year. So it's a good place to be, it's a good place to go out, it's a good place to travel. What I want you to be aware of is that the UK, obviously, as I've been saying, is a modern, complex and vibrant industrial nation like Japan, but it's also a beautiful island, and there's many places to go to see. So, you know, you've all heard of London and Cambridge and Edinburgh. They are amazing places, but there's also so much more to go and see. In fact, there's far too much to mention. So it is a bit more than Harry Potter and fish and chips. The UK has incredible scenery, it has brilliant architecture, has wonderful countryside, and it has fantastic seafronts. So if you do come to the UK, travel, you must travel. It's an interesting country with different landscapes. Also, the UK has a really fantastic network of trains and buses. Now, guys, again, I've been to Japan, I've been on the transport system. It's the best in the world. Japan is the best in the world for trains and buses and things like that because they're on time. The UK, not so good, but it's still fantastic. And it's much better than, say, the USA. And you can get to near enough any major city from wherever you are within a few hours. And prices, if you travel at the right time, are relatively cheap. Now, just want to say something about easy travel to Europe. Now, at the moment, there's different restrictions, and obviously because of COVID. But people are starting to travel again. And Europe is a really easy place to get to. So, for example, if you wanted to take a flight from any major city in the UK, it won't be more than an hour to get to Paris. You'll get to Rome in maybe 2.5 hours. You can get to Barcelona in 2 hours as well. So you can visit all of these great places that you've always dreamed of visiting. And it's also pretty cheap as well to go on these flights. But we do have to wait for the restrictions to change. I imagine, and I hope, that by the time you attend university, that everything has changed and you are free to travel. Now, I know that our relationship, I say the UK's relationship with Europe has changed, but I don't think there'll be many problems or many obstacles for students with visas to travel around Europe. but we have to keep watching this. Okay, so the pictures that we have there. Now, these pictures that I've chosen them simply because these are universities that students receive offers from, okay, on the foundation course. So the top one is of Leeds and the one below is Glasgow. So you've got north of England and Scotland. Right, food in the UK, right. First of all, food is relatively cheap in the UK, especially fresh fruit and vegetables, okay? There's plenty of supermarkets, many of them open for 24 hours. And like Japan, you get expensive supermarkets and you also get cheap supermarkets. In the bigger supermarkets, you will get food aisles that have food from all over the world. So for example, don't be surprised if you go to a big, say, Tesco 24, that you will find Japanese food, if that's what you want. But they'll have food from all over the world. Now, next to and in campuses, there are convenience stores, not as many as Tokyo, but you have convenience stores, but they also tend to be a bit more expensive and have less choice. Eating out in the UK, there's loads of choice. You will get food from all over the world. So obviously you have your Italian, you have like pizzas, you have French, Greek, Eastern European, India, Pakistani, Thai, Chinese, American, North and South, and Japanese restaurants. So there's plenty of places to eat out. And of course, then you have lots of your sort of your junk food, your fast food places as well. So if you really fancy it, you have McDonald's, Pizza Hut, Kentucky, and all of that kind of thing. Also, over COVID, the UK has embraced Just Eat and Deliveroo. So lots of students do take advantage of having food delivered. So I've talked about the UK. Now, obviously I've missed lots of things out about the UK, but what I've talked about so far is talked about how great the universities are, how well qualified the staff are, what the expectations are, the great reputation that British universities have. I've also talked about living in the UK, saying that accommodation is really good, that there's plenty of things to do. It's relatively cheap as you're a student. And also eating out is good. You can eat healthily very cheaply. But let's get to the major business here. How can I study at a UK university? Well, there's three options, okay? There's A-level, which usually takes 2 years. There's the International Baccalaureate, the IB, usually takes 2 years. And then you have foundation courses in the UK, which can take around a year. Sometimes it can be 2 years, just depending on your English level. Now, generally, students must study for 13 years. That's usually the requirement. So this means that this qualification is beyond high school. Okay, it's 2 years after high school. Now, as Japanese students, you could take any one of these qualifications. That would probably mean that you'd have to travel over to the UK and yeah, study for at least 9-10 months, but probably 2 years if you take these higher level qualifications. Now, there's two types of foundation course. So number one and number two, A-level and IB, they should take 2 years. You can go on an intensive course, but that's very difficult and also very expensive as well. A-levels are very expensive to study, as are IB. Now, the foundation courses, you can get two types. You can get a generic one, which means you can go to any university. There's not many of those, by the way. Or you can do a university-specific one. A university-specific course means that you can only go to one university. So if you go to Coventry Foundation course, you can only study at Coventry University. In fact, I'm sure if you get the visa then, you can't change university over, but I'd have to check on that. Or there is an alternative. You can study NIC's own international program. So if we go back, these are your three options, which all take either between a year and 2 years and are very expensive, and you have to go to the UK. Or you can study NIC's own international program. So what is our NIC program? Okay, well, it's a level 3 qualification. It's designed for Japanese students who want to attend a UK university, because the tendency is that most Japanese students have done 12 years study, and this is like an extra year. The other good thing is it's approved by many universities. So I've mentioned some already, I'll mention some later, but we do have Russell Group universities like Glasgow, Leeds, and Birmingham, who have made offers to our students. So this qualification allows you access to some of the best universities in the world, and of course in the UK. The other unusual thing about this is it's an intensive course. It's a 1-year program that is condensed into about 20 weeks. It's been designed to do that. So it's a really intense course. Now, look, there's probably about 40 students here. There's some of you who will not be able to do it, okay, because it will be really tough. It'll be too intense for you. But every year, students do take the qualification and they do pass, but it's a load of work, okay? It really is. There's about 20 assignments to do in that time. So there's about an assignment a week, and these are really tough. So here's a comparison between an NIC program and another type of university foundation program. So for you guys, you finish your EAP in April 2022 or March, around then, yeah? And then what you do is that you join the NIC Foundation program, and then you go to university the same year. And then that gives you time if you wanted to go and do a master's. If you follow any other route, okay, you decide to go elsewhere, you have to wait, okay? So you join September 2022, so you don't do anything over the summer. So you finish in May, March, April, and then you have to wait. Then you study for 1 year, and then 2023, you go to university. So obviously, when you study the NIC Foundation program, you finish earlier. In fact, you could study for a degree before the other people finish their first degree. So it's much quicker. So what is this program, okay? What do they learn on the course? Okay, well, what we call it, Americans would call this a liberal arts program, okay? And what it does, it covers the arts, the humanities, business, and economics. Now, it is preparation for university study. What do we mean by this? Well, it's tough, okay? You have to do assessments like you're at university. You have to do things like extended essays, projects, and exams. So this picture here is of students, I think 2 years ago. You might recognize the room, but they're all sitting NIC exam, okay? And these exams are proper examinations that are taken in silence, and the students don't know the questions. They just have to do the paper. So it's really tough. And the subjects include business, economics, international relations, media, politics, psychology, and sociology. So you study a broad range of subjects as well. Why? Because it allows you access to lots of different courses and lots of different universities. So each subject has several modules, and I've talked already about the assessments. Now, the written reports, some of them are up to 3,000 words, so they're big reports, and they have to be written properly as well. they have to be written with proper references, they have to be organized properly, and of course, the English has to be of a really high quality. And yes, you have to do presentations in front of the group, we record them, and you get a grade for that as well. Why? Because at university, you will be assessed in exactly the same way. So that's why it's preparation for university. Okay, so a quick overview of the subjects. Business and economics, okay? You study all of these things. So you learn, or you learn introductory information and knowledge. So you learn about financial planning, you learn how to market a business, you learn about how important it is to manage people in a proper way and how to organize them. And you also learn things like macro and microeconomic theories and how this links with government policy. Also, you learn about international trade as well. Now, the media is a really important one because if you think about it, the media is all around us and it's our main source of information. So it's really important to learn how they're spreading messages to us. So this includes looking at newspaper and television, but also online platforms as well, such as social media, online news, and so forth. What you learn to do in this section is you learn how to read the messages and how to understand the underlying ideologies below those. Now, politics and IR is a really interesting section, really useful for anything to do with development. Obviously, if you want to go on to study business or politics, then these are really useful modules. And you receive an introduction to the major theories in politics, theories of power, theories of the state, but we also discuss things like globalization. This is a good example of globalization. I'm 6,000 miles away in the UK, speaking to a group of students from Japan. So globalization is something very important to study. We talk about regionalism, for example, agreements between different countries. And we talk about things like threats to our safety, such as terrorism, state violence, and the environment. And of course, with what's happening with Afghanistan at the moment, and UN reports on what they believe is going to be a global catastrophe, these are important subjects to study. Now, we also do sociology and psychology. And sociology is the study of groups of people, and sociology is my area of interest. This is I've published books in this area, and also psychology, what makes us who we are. So we look at different theories and perspectives to understand who we are as individuals, but how we interact with one another, and most importantly, how institutions like school, government impacts on us as individuals. So really important subject for us to learn. Right, so I've talked a load about what you study, okay? And I can't really go into too much detail because we only have 1 hour. So I'm really sorry that I've only got a limited amount of time. The timetable is pretty busy. And as you can see, you are studying both in morning and afternoon. And what you must remember as well, you will have homework as well. So it's a really intense course. You will be studying different things at different times. Now, last year, all of it was taught online. Well, not all of it, but about 90%. This year, about 60% was taught online because I couldn't get to Japan. Tim Sam looked after it in class. But what we're hoping is that next year, when we start the teaching, most of it will be in class. I've done quite a lot of work actually and research into what's the best way of learning. And the best way of learning is receiving instruction from a teacher in the same room, okay? Because teachers read body language, facial expressions, etc. So it's really important to get you in the class. So hopefully, I'll be traveling next year. So if you think I'm quite bright, or you think I might be a good teacher, then good, because I probably will see you next year. And I teach some of the modules as well, especially sociology, psychology, and I teach a bit of the politics. Right. So where do students progress to? So you know that you study lots of different subjects. You know that you have to do exams, presentations, and essays. And you also know that it's a really intensive timetable. So where do you go? Well, you can go to study Birmingham. We had a student study philosophy. Now, this isn't all of them. This is just a selection. There's Brighton, students have gone to, Coventry, Essex. Essex is really good, by the way, for politics. It's one of the best universities to study politics in the world, not just the country, in the world. Glasgow, Media and Film. Kiel, which is in the Midlands. There's been Portsmouth, Swansea, as I mentioned earlier. UCA, which has different locations just outside London or South England. UEA is University of East Anglia, and we have a relationship with them. And also Winchester, we have several students going to Winchester. And Winchester is fantastic because it's a beautiful city. It's Britain's old capital, by the way, but it's a great place to go if you prefer a smaller university and smaller lectures and classes. By the way, if you're wondering why you've got pictures of these people, 2 years ago, these are NIC students who are all now at university who visited the UK to have a look around the universities. And we had a great time traveling up and down the country and experiencing UK culture. So it was a good time. So why should you study the NIC Foundation course? Well, I think there's lots of good reasons to study the UK course. I mean, for a start, you have really experienced teachers who are qualified in many different things. So it's very British in that sense. But as I've just shown you, so far, over 35 universities, including Russell Group universities, recognise our programme. Look, NIC students are really good students. An NIC student who does a foundation course is an even better student. They do very well. And that's what you must remember. So, so we have a really high success rate. Now, so far, we've had 65 students graduate from the course. The course is very young, by the way. It only started 4 years ago. And already we have a brilliant relationship with several universities, including Birmingham, Coventry, Portsmouth, Winchester, UEA. It's a unique qualification. It's the first of the kind in Japan. We're one of the first colleges to have an independent qualification like this. So we're the first to do this. But the high success rate is something that you should be interested in, because every single student who goes on the foundation course and then goes to university is incredibly and extremely successful. They get high grades, they graduate with really brilliant university qualifications. In fact, I believe it's 100% retention rate. In America, I think 80% is a really good retention rate. We have 100%. So what it means is that any student who does the foundation course is likely to be very successful. I mean, not just moderately successful, but they're going to be top of their class. And that's because we prepare you really well for university life. Well, as you can read, guys, there's lots of other reasons why you should study. Now, I would say that for many of you, it will be the best, the most efficient, the cheapest, and the quickest way to get to the UK. You'll have the benefit of staying at home or staying in Tokyo, staying in your own country. So you haven't got all the issues that you would have with travel that you do at the moment. But your experience is very British. Now, I must emphasize that Tim and I are qualified teachers. We have degrees in teaching as well as degrees in our specialist subjects. Because in the UK, you're not allowed to teach without a teaching qualification. That means Tim and I are really well qualified to do this. So it's going to be a proper British experience. It's not a language class. It is a proper British classroom in Japan. As I said, it will save you time and money, and that's a really good thing. We think it's around £12,000 because the course is much cheaper than it is abroad, but you don't have the other costs. For example, you don't have costs of accommodation, travel, visas, and all of the things that go with traveling. So this cost, this saving, which is a lot of money, would pay for a master's degree. So it's a much better way to go about it, especially if you want to go to the UK. Right then, guys, key dates. We've come to the end of the, and if you remember 10%, wonderful, okay? Key dates. Now, you guys have a lot of work to do. You're studying at the moment for your EAP, and I know you have lots of homework, but you also have to think about where you're going to study next. Many of you will be considering the US or Australia, Canada, those kinds of places, and the UK. So if you want to talk to me, or if you want to write to me or email me, then that's fine. If you want to know more about the course, or you want to know more about British universities before November, then please contact me. I'll be very happy to hear from you, and we can have a Zoom call, or we can do things by email, okay? So your key dates are I think Yumiko-san will tell you after, but I think it's something like 12th of November or something like that, but she will tell you more. We have something called a Head Start class in the winter vacation. So when you break from EAP, we start lessons, and that's in December 2021. So your first assessment actually is January 2022. Now, what we did this year is that we run some like late classes, so that whilst you're doing your EAP, you can start studying for the foundation course. And then what will happen is that you'll begin your course in class when you complete your EAP studies, which will be in March and April. The other thing that we have to remember is your university applications have to be finished in January 2022. Okay, so I will have to meet with you guys online, okay, and hopefully in person, to discuss which university you want to apply for. I help you with your application, I help you with your personal statement, and of course I write the reference as well. And then finally, the course completes in August 2022, so that you can be ready for university life in September 2022. So guys, there's the key dates. And what I will do is that I will hope that Yumiko-san is around to take over. But until then, have you got any questions for me? You can type the questions if you like. Any questions?
はい。何か質問があったらね、マイケル先生に直接聞いていただいてもいいと思います。どうぞよろしくお願いします。どうぞ。はい、ゆうきくん。
Yes. Is it Ginsei and Nakajima?
Yeah, I got a question. So I wanted to, go to acting course. So do I need audition to enter acting course?
Generally, yes, you do. However, it depends which university you apply to and what kind of course. So we have lots of students who apply for theatre studies and can have acting in it as well, no audition. But generally, yes, if you want to do a performance type, you do have to do an audition, and they often do them online. They will give you advice on this as well. So they won't just give you a call and say, okay, can you pretend to be, Harry Potter or something like that? They won't do that. What they'll do is that they'll give you a scenario and ask you to work through that scenario. Sometimes it's just simply an interview online. They may just give you an interview. So they may just want to know who you are, what your ambitions are, what your interests are. So so it depends on which university. But if you email me and tell me which universities, I'll be able to give you a reply that is accurate, and we can direct you appropriately then. So the answer is yes and no.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Great question as well. Yes. Is it Yuki? Yuki
Yes.
Matsumoto.
Yes, hello again. So I was actually student 2 years ago.
Yeah, right. Okay. I recognize the name. I recognize the name. So
Yeah.
Yeah. How are you?
So, I'm good, thank you. So okay, anyways, my question is about also I want to learn performing arts on theater, and to learn that in university, is there any benefit to learn on NIC Foundation?
Yes, is the answer, because to accept you have to have a level 3 qualification. Now you could go and do other qualifications like Lambda or RADA, teacher, like acting qualifications, very expensive by the way, and can take a long time. So it depends on the university. So if you were like applying to someone like Winchester, which is like performing arts, has a lot of things like that, theatre studies, they probably wouldn't ask for anything other than good English, 5.5 IELTS at least, and they would probably ask for 50% from our or 55% from our foundation course. So yes, Yuki, the qualification probably would be good for you. But remember, and I want everybody here to remember this, okay? I will advise you on the best route for you. So for example, Yuki, if it was a university that didn't accept our course, I would advise you to do another course. So don't think I will just tell you rubbish to get you on our course. I'm here to advise you as well. So please, guys, it's not just about foundation. If you want help with universities, ask me. Okay, many years ago, I used to go on television and I used to give advice to British students about universities. So I'm sort of used to it. Okay, but great question, Yuki, and email me if you want to know more about that. Or, and this is the same for Jinsei as well. If you've got a specific university that you're really interested in, then send a link to me and I can give them a call. Yeah, and I can find out more for you. So remember, if I don't know the answer, I will find the answer. Okay, right. I've noticed there's a chat. Great question, Yuki.
Thank you.
Is your hair purple?
Actually blue.
Oh wow, looks really cool. Yeah, mine's grey, but I didn't colour.
It's cool.
Oh, thank you. I'm old, that's the problem. You're young. How much will I pay for the NIC Foundation course? Well, you'll have to ask Yumiko-san about that, okay? She will be able to tell you that. So, Yuna, where are you? Are you on this screen? Could you wave to me, Yuna? Oh, there you are. Oh, I like the pictures behind you as well. Yuna, sorry, I don't know the answer to that because I just do the education. Okay, so, oh, looks like we're frozen. Oh, you're back again. Yes, we're back again. So, probably my fault. So Yuna, are you there? Right. Anyway, hopefully that's answered that question. Is that Shino? Kamimu?
Yeah, I'm Shino. Actually, I'm thinking about like taking foundation courses in the UK, and because my intended major is physics, and there is no like physics course in NIC, right? Mm-hmm. So, and I already have the specific university I want to go. it is like Manchester University.
Yeah.
Like I have no idea like which courses I have to apply or how to apply and when to apply. So I'm glad if I can like personally talk to you.
Okay. What I'll do is, Shino, is that first of all, Manchester is like, I think in the top 10 of the world universities, and it's UMIST, isn't it? So
yeah, I know.
Yeah, one of my best friends studied at Manchester. He studied nuclear physics, so pretty good, eh? Now, what I'll do is that I'm sure that the NIC UK covers the foundation courses. Generally, what I would say is that if you want to join that specific university, then find that foundation course, and I'll do that. I'll have a look for you. And I've got your name. So what I'll do is I'll reply to you and I'll give you some options. Generally, I would say, if you're going to the UK, I would say if you're doing something like physics, then I would do A levels and I would do something like maths, physics and advanced maths or something like that. Because basically physics is maths, isn't it? At the end of the day. So I will seek some advice as well. But if I was given advice, if you were open to study anything, I would say probably study A levels or IB rather than a foundation course, because you're guaranteed.
For me.
So yeah, so foundation is probably the best bet then. Yeah.
Yeah.
So in that case, NIC UK Foundation program, it was conducted in MPW or Manchester Foundation. It was conducted by study group. Might be your option, I think. Yeah,
I mean, out of the two, I think Yumiko-san knows that I really like MPW. I think they do a really good job with NIC students. They report.
And actually, one student went to the Manchester this year from the MPW Foundation program.
Yeah.
So one went to the Manchester, one went to the Birmingham. Both are the physics students.
Yeah.
No, not physics, computer science.
And I think the other thing to think about is as well, when we're discussing these things, is also fees. And what Yumiko-san is really good at is seeing if they're going to offer anything for an NIC student as well. So keep Yumiko-san involved as well. Well, you will anyway, because she's the head of destinations. But what I will do is I will check, because with COVID, things are changing, and it might be that there's like an online course, and that might actually work out cheaper for you as well. I know online isn't much fun. However, it might be a good way of getting over there. Yeah. Okay, look, I will inquire on your behalf. Just give me 1 or 2 days, because it's Friday.
Yeah.
So I won't get a response for a few days anyway from the universities. But I'll be very interested to see what is the best option for you. But generally, I would say A levels. But MPW is a really brilliant college. I think for me, it's the best out of all of them, just simply because I know the people that work there, but I also know that they've got really high standards. Like, for example, I receive their reports like every month about attendance, attitude, work commitment, assessments and things like that. So hopefully, Shino, I can get back to you with some more information and give you some options.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, really good question. Fantastic English as well, Shino. Fantastic. Right. Oh, is that, sorry, if I get your name wrong, okay, please, forgive me. Is it Cheho or Chiho?
Shino.
Yes, I'm Cheho.
Cheho.
So do I need to study the foundation course to go to a graduate school directly from Japan?
I don't know what your qualifications are at the moment, and that is something that I'd probably have to ask Yumiko-san for some advice on.
Yes,
Yumiko-san, Chiho
it
is from a
depends on,
graduate school?
he has a graduate, university graduate level. So if he has enough level, he can go through the foundation, master level. However, it depends on his grade. So we are checking his transcript from the university at this moment.
Okay, which subject is it, Chiho?
学部は
Which subject?
学部は、
学部
うん、
Faculty of Global Studies.
Okay,
It's like about international relations and area studies.
yeah. Okay. I think the only way I can give advice on that is knowing what your grade is. But I've got your name here. So with Yumiko-san, hopefully we can give you some advice. But Yumiko-san will know how to advise you on this one. But it depends on your grade or GPA.
うん、
Okay, anybody else?
他には、はい、ジュリちゃん。
I want to major animal science or animal welfare at the university, and I'm looking for the university that I can go by your NIC Foundation. And then I'm wondering, is there any university? And then when I look for when I saw the Winchester University of Winchester, and of the animal welfare and the society, and it says a lot of entry requirement, but so it says GCSE or 4 parts in English language is required, or these are several English entry requirement. So I don't know what should I watch or focus on for starting the university.
Very easy, really, to answer. If it's English, okay, what we would say is IELTS, okay, and we would encourage you to study for IELTS. We'll prepare you for IELTS, okay. And if you have a GCSE in English, then great, you don't have to. But generally, Winchester prefers IELTS. It does its own English test as well. I was just about to say to you that its animal science course, yes, does accept the foundation course as well. So you'd need the foundation course plus the English level. We're learning more about what Winchester wants, and it does its own English qualification, but it does recommend that you do IELTS. So we will prepare students for IELTS from now on. So don't worry about the English level. We'll find the right one for you.
Okay, so it means there are several universities that I can go by NIC Foundation, the course, the animal welfare, animal science. But I thought it's science, like science course, and I had.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you. The best way of telling what it is looking at the letters. Now, for this one, it says BA Honours, which means a Bachelor of Arts. So that isn't a science. Okay. It will have a mixture of science and humanities. So animal welfare and society will have a lot of psychology in that as well, and animal psychology, because we know that human and animal psychology is very similar, especially in mammals. Okay, so when you have a look at this, yeah, this is all about, this is making sure that animals are well looked after and ethically as well. It's it's a really interesting degree, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, you learn stuff, as I can see there, research methods, which is something that you have to learn in a British university anyway to be able to do proper work. But I will ask around about different other universities as well who offer a similar qualification. All I have to do is actually just ask the universities that we have partnerships with already and ask if they'll accept, and hopefully I'll have a list for you. So your name is Jury?
Judy, yes. And can I send you our universities list that I want to go, or
Yeah.
I'm considering? There are several universities, so that I.
Please do. Send them
Thank
to
you.
me, and we can. I mean, I might be able to tell you straight away just by looking at the list. But if you send me the list, that would be great. Okay, now you're welcome. And honestly, everybody's English is so fantastic. It's amazing. I mean, better my Japanese. You've heard my Japanese. It's not so good, yeah? But your English is just amazing. Is that Rio?
Yes, I'm Rio. Hello, Mr. Michael.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm a little bit tired because of the presentation that I had.
Oh, have you done a presentation today?
I didn't do it, but I listened to people who did presentation, so I'm very tired today, but.
And you had to listen to me after as well. That's a nightmare, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's like the worst thing that could
actually.
happen.
Yeah, so.
Okay, well, thank you for staying awake. Great.
My question is, my grade in high school is actually bad, and I want to ask you if it is possible if it is still possible for me to go to a college like Manchester.
Right. This is
honestly.
Yeah, it depends. It really depends. Now, like Manchester, as I mentioned, is one of the world's top universities, and they do look at high school grades. I'll give you an example. My daughter is the same age, similar age to you. And I said to her when she was doing her GCSEs, you need to get the best grades because these matter. And, you know, she had to work really hard to get those. And this is a problem for many students who, like, you know, someone like you has probably improved a lot since high school. I bet your grades actually aren't bad. They're probably quite good, actually, but you might think they're bad. We really just need to have a look at your grades, first of all, and then we have to have a look to see what you want to go and study. What subject are you interested in?
I like to major in business.
Okay. Okay, now
it doesn't need to be Manchester. I just want to go to the high level college.
Yeah, I mean, like Birmingham make offers for business. Coventry is one of the top business schools in the country. That makes offers. UEA is one of the top. So we already have lots of universities in our portfolio. If you apply to them, they would be slightly more sympathetic. In other words, they'll be a bit more generous. What they'll say to you is, okay, high school grade is maybe slightly low, so we expect a higher grade from foundation. That's fair.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you're applying for someone like Birmingham, you also have to have great English. But to be honest, your English sounds absolutely incredible. So I don't think there'll be problems with the English, really. I think that obstacle isn't a big one.
And one more thing, the foundation grade and also the high school grade and the personal statement and the recommendation will be the key. Okay. And Michael will teach how to write the personal statement. So.
Okay.
Yes, please.
I'm sorry. The reason why I asked this question is that I did research about the grades that I need for admission entering college. And I heard that America, the college in the US asks you to show people the grades that in high school. But then on the other hand, college in college in the UK do not really care. I mean, do not really see their grades. So I thought there were more chance for me.
It depends on the university. Because you mentioned Manchester, if you're talking about like top 5, top 6, top 7 universities, because so many students want to go there, they have to be able to discriminate, you know, judge between different students. So not only do you look at high school grades, you look at A levels, but you also look at hobbies, interests, how good your personal statement is, you know, what other achievements you've got. I mean, some universities will want to know, you know, are you good at the piano, or are you good at playing the drums? There's a lot of criteria that that you have to meet. So yes, the advice online is quite good, but it's not necessarily accurate. It's case by case. The thing is like my job as the foundation director is to write to the universities to say, hey, look, I've got this student called Rio. Maybe his high school wasn't so great, but oh boy, he's going to do really well on foundation, and he's got fantastic English. Believe it or not, they listen to me. they actually take notice, because we are the people who will get to know you best. So yeah, I think we can get too worried about high school results, but we have to think about them as well, and we have to be careful about the advice that we're getting online, because it's not usually accurate. What I would say is look around different universities, and we can find out for you as well. But Manchester would be very hard. I mean, if you're a British student wanting to go to Manchester, the chances are you're not going to get in. Okay, so you know, imagine how difficult it is for an international student as well. Yeah. So, but don't worry about the high school grade too much either. Okay, because it's now. That's important. Who you are now and what you want to do is the important thing. And if you can speak like you can speak, wow, I think, yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah, you'll do incredibly well in a UK university.
Thank you. I'll work even harder. Yeah, nice.
I don't think you have to. I think you're working hard enough. That's a really great question as well, and really
Thank you
well
very
put.
much.
Right. Any students?
Are there any questions? Okay. Yeah, Michael Sensei will do the one-on-one counseling from now on. If you have an interest in it, please mail to him. I write down his email address here.
Okay, I can do it to everybody now.
Yeah, please. So to talk with him one-on-one is really good for you to see that your situation and the possibility. So please ask him, do the counseling. Okay.
Yeah, it's really important, guys, as well, because some of you will come onto the course, and I need to get to know you. Yeah, so I need to speak to you loads. We need to have lots of conversations. I need to understand you, because I need to know. I need to know about you, about what your ambitions are. I need to get to know about your background, because these things are really important for a successful university application. And the better I get to know you, the more.
Yeah, through these conversation, the recommendation, the quality of the recommendation will be higher. So please have a contact with him, Michael.
Yeah, and we can do that with Zoom calls or Skype or whatever. I don't mind. And I'm still really busy, but I'll be less busy in the next few weeks. And I need to be busy with you guys, because I need you to ask me things. That's my job. I need to find things out, and I need to help you, and also send you on the right direction. If it's not foundation course, no problem. What's important to Yumiko-san and I is that you do the right course. That's the most important thing. And if it happens to be foundation, then great. You know, I look forward to meeting you all again. But even if you're not doing foundation course, I can still help you. Please don't be worried about asking me. Just one final word. Many of you, haven't asked questions. It might be because I've already answered those questions, or it might be that you feel a little bit shy. That's fine. Okay, ask me questions by email. If I was if I was with lots of other English students and somebody was speaking in Japanese, I don't think I'd be brave enough to speak, okay? And I'm an old man, okay? So don't feel worried or concerned about asking me questions later. That's absolutely fine, it's acceptable. And you might have to have time to think about it. But to all of you who ask questions, fantastic, wow. Your English levels are so good. They really are brilliant. Yeah, astonishing. So yeah, I hope that I get to meet you all again sometime. Thank you very much.
Hi, thank you very much.
ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございました。はい、ありがとうございます。来週からね、対面のクラスがスタートしますんで、学校で待ってます。何かあったらご連絡ください。大丈夫かな。はい、お疲れ様でした。ありがとうございました。
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, I have a question. 陽介
はい、OK。大丈夫そうよ、もう。カズマ。
Yeah.
So after the entering the university in UK, can I transfer or other university?
No, the rules have changed. Now, it used to be that you could, like after the first year, if you didn't like a university, you could change. But now, no, once you get your visa for one university, you have to stay at that university.
You can do that kind of the study abroad program with other countries, not in UK.
You could do a foundation course and then with one university and go to another. But if you go for your degree program, you must stay at that university because your visa is now for 3 years or 4 years, depending on how long.
Okay, thank you very much.
Which university are you thinking about, Kazuma?
I'm not sure which university, but yeah. I'm not decided.
Are you a footballer?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, I thought I recognized you, even though you have your mask on. I thought that's the football. Yeah, it's the football guy. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you're the one who wants to play university football. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, my daughter, she goes to Edinburgh tomorrow, and she's been invited to play for the Edinburgh first team. So she's not fit though at the moment. she might have trouble because the standard is very high. So yeah. Well, yeah. If you want to email me another time and about the universities that you're interested in, why are you interested in changing university halfway through?
Because I'm not in which country I will go yet, so I want to go high rank university. So if I can go the high rank university in UK and after entering university, so I ask.
Yeah, he has a qualification because his high school grade is really good. And also he is placed in the highest level at NIC. So he might be qualified, I think.
He would be an excellent candidate for something like Birmingham.
Yeah.
That's the kind of, you know, and you're not going to get much better than Birmingham, I can tell you that. And also the sports area is brilliant as well.
Yeah, it is.
Yumiko-san has traveled there and seen
it was so brilliant.
Yeah, they're using them for the Commonwealth Games next year. That's how good they are. So yeah, I think what we can do is if I get a copy of your qualifications, I can contact a few universities before and just say, look, this student is thinking about studying with us. What do you think? Will you make him an offer? And then because I know if you go to somewhere like Birmingham, you won't want to change your mind, because once you're there, you're there, and and that's high ranking as well.
Yeah.
You get a degree from there, you'll be doing very well.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
Yes.
Hi,
Okay.
Hidaka.
Hi, I'm Yose. Nice to meet
Oh,
you.
Yose.
Yes. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So I'm most interest subject is business and linguistics. Yes. So I'm not sure which university I go to, and so I want to know. Sorry. Maybe I will go UK and Switzerland. So I want to know York University system or something. So can you teach me York University about?
Okay, so you're interested in business and linguistics, yeah?
Yes, yes.
Okay, now you could do both subjects as a combined degree, but it's one of those where you have to search for it. So UCAS, you can put those words in and you can find out. I mean, I will do it anyway after this meeting. So, but many universities will cover business and linguistics as a combined degree program. So Yumiko-san has just put UCAS on the UCAS thing there. So business and linguistics. Maybe take her. All right, it'll be all
Business management.
Oh, there you go. So just immediately we've got Canterbury Christ Church School. Okay, so we've got there already business management and linguistics. I don't know how many courses. I can't see how many courses, but there will be lots of courses. So Coventry, they've got languages for global communication. Coventry is one of our partner universities, really good university. So yeah, there'll be lots of universities that offer that combination of courses.
One of the students went to the Glasgow.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's a good one, isn't it? The one with combined with
Russell Groups University.
Yeah, some of those are just English degrees, really. But they've yeah, you have the combined honours. Yeah. So you'll say there's lots of. There'll be lots of choice, basically. Did you mention York?
Sorry?
Did you mention York, University of York?
Yeah, so I will build my company. So I did research in UK university. Then I pick up York University. So I was interested York University system, and then but I can't understand York University
in terms of York, we've
York?
never, I don't think we've ever
York
made an
大学、
application
ヨーロッパ。
York です。
to York.
York.
Or is it frozen?
York in Scotland. York in Scotland, am I right?
No, York is north of England. It's in,
Sorry, I took a mistake. I thought that York is a.
It's a high-ranking university,
Yes, it is.
as you say, will know. Now, we've never had a student apply to York, so we would have to inquire. so with regards to York, it's actually a relatively new university, even though York is one of the oldest cities in the UK. But it's a really fantastic modern university. I think it was set up in the 1960s. And yes, it has lots of brilliant things to go and study. The thing is about applying to somewhere like York is it's very competitive, and there'll be 3 people applying for one place. So we have to be mindful of that. But we've not applied to York before. I mean, I am familiar with York because my daughter applied to York, so that's the only reason why I know about York. But it's a brilliant part of the country. It's a brilliant university, and very difficult to get into. So I'll make inquiries. However, you will find this course in other universities as well. Now, if it is that you want to go to York and the foundation course is not good for it, then obviously we could try to find you a course that would help you. But generally that would go back to doing a foundation course with the university, or doing A-levels or an IB. So that would probably be your options, but we don't know is the answer for foundation. But the thing is, when you apply for university, you apply for 5 universities. So most students, I mean, our students do quite well. They usually get an offer but they get rejection as well sometimes. And that's the same for every single student in the world. Most will get at least 1 rejection anyway. So you have 5 universities that you apply for. And generally, people usually really like 2 or 3 of the universities they're applying to, and then it becomes a difficult decision. So we will find out more about York, okay? But it might not be, the foundation course might not be good for it, but it will be good for other courses as well. So it depends on you. If you really want to go to York, then maybe you'd have to go and study with another college. But if York is just one choice and there's other universities you want to go to, then the foundation course will be as good as any other.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. I'll probably get back to you about York as well. I'll try and give you more detail.
Thank you very much. ありがとうございます。大丈夫？
チェフ
ォ大丈夫？
富谷さん、
はいはい。
GPA のあれが 2.59 だったんですよ。
2.59
ぐらい。2.59で。
2.59 であればいけるかもしれないけど、分かる学校から聞いてみることは可能だよ。例えば UEA とかだったら事前に審査してくれる。
ちょっと UEA に聞いてみたいなと思って。
OK。そしたら送ってちょうだい。来週持ってきてね、サーティフィケート。
今、ちょっと昨日電話したんですけど、お母さんがちょっとコロナになっちゃって、今自宅で待機中なんですね。
あ、そうなの？じゃあ来週来れない？そういうメールしてくれた？
はい、昨日
オフィスに電話してくれた。OK。じゃあ10日間来れないね。
でそしたら、10日、自分っていつから？じ
ゃあそれも連絡するように伝えておきます。じゃあ、それ終わってからで大丈夫だから、もしくは PDF で送ってくれればいい。
わかりました。
はい、待ってます。
はい。
じゃあ大丈夫かな？はい、ありがとう。Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, thank you very much, Michael.
Thank you. Yeah, great.
Yeah.